What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Casually Canine. I'm Casey.
I'm Kate.
I just had to stick that one in there.
Let me guess, you pre-planned that.
Yeah, I did.
I totally know him.
I was actually talking about it to myself on my walk with a couple of the dogs this morning.
Oh, I love that for you, Case. Very creative.
I was just like, this is going to be our first time back in front of the camera doing the podcast in a couple episodes. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm kind of excited.
It feels like we're back and at it. But I have to say, I really do enjoy when we've recorded them on the phone, that we're just sitting on our couch, cozy under a blanket, recording it quick. Or if we've done it traveling, it's let's just go into a room real quick and record it. I kind of like that spontaneity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it is fun. It kind of feels almost like we're talking therapeutically to each other about certain things.
That's cute.
It is cute.
How's your body feel?
Actually better than I thought it was going to be feeling today.
So we ran a 10K, which if you're a runner, I know you're probably like, oh, I do that in my sleep. But I am not a runner. And we ran a 10K yesterday. And I just have to say, I'm proud of myself because I did not walk. And I went into it knowing that I didn't train that much. I ran once a week, and I'll back up and tell you why did we sign up for a 10K here in a second. But I was going into this I want to finish. I'm fine with walking. I walk a bazillion miles a day anyways, but I don't run that many miles. And Casey's done, how many? Have you just done one half?
I've done a couple 10Ks, a half marathon, and then...
But you used to run a little bit more. It's just you enjoyed running. Especially when Rhodey was younger, you guys would run quite a bit.
Yeah, I do enjoy running. Especially, I was saying yesterday, once I got to even the fifth and sixth mile, I felt like I was in more of a groove than I was when I was in 1 through 4 of miles.
But so for me, it was I genuinely don't like running. I feel like it's a mental and physical challenge. And I think that's the only aspect that I can find that I potentially like about it is I do like being a person that conquers a challenge. But besides that, I don't really like it. So that's why I was asking Casey how his body is feeling. Because I woke up this morning actually quite pleased with how I felt, except for my hip flexors.
Yeah.
So they still are. They're really tight, but disgusting. And fast forward 15 seconds if talking about feet grosses you out. But I ended up getting a ginormous blister on the inside part of my right. Would that be my arch kind of? But it's on the side of my foot, huge, the whole side of it.
I don't know how you ran with that.
When I told my mom about it, though, because I called my parents in the afternoon just to check in with them and let them know how it went and just to catch up. When I told my mom that, she was like, that does not surprise me. She's like, you've had an issue with blisters in shoes since you were a kid. Every sport, which was not that many that I played, shoes were my problem. So I've had that forever.
Do you keep your shoes loosely tied?
I don't know. Probably.
Because that would be a problem if they're sliding back and forth in the. And
these were even nice running shoes, but rookie mistake. It was only my third time wearing them for running, but the first 2 runs that I ran in them, I was like, oh, these feel great. This will be great for race day. But mind you, one of the runs was 2 miles, and one of them was 1.5 miles. So not 6.2 miles. But hey, we did it. It was cool. Not that you guys didn't think I couldn't do it, but one of our other friends who is an avid runner, and she just did a triathlon, and she's done a dozen half marathons.
A dozen?
She's done a ton.
Oh, really? I didn't know
that. I just threw a dozen out there, but she has done quite a few.
Okay.
And then was in cross country all through high school and blah, blah, blah. She's always been a runner. And I only finished 4 minutes after Casey. And so they saw me come through the finish line. They're like, oh my gosh, we thought we had I don't know, 10, 15 minutes still to just chill and wait. And I'm like, huh, well, I fooled you guys. So that was cool. So where this started, sorry to totally like take
That
the
yeah,
whole...
that derailed a little bit there, but we're back on track.
We're back on track. So what started this whole thing was when summer started and Jen started working with us on a different capacity of doing board and trains versus coming to us. I knew we'd be doing a ton of like outings and stuff together, but I'm like, hey, it'd be nice to like do something like once a week with each other that's a little different, just to make sure that like we're still getting that face-to-face time.
Yeah, a little bit of team building.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, what are your thoughts on just like one day a week getting together and doing a run together? And Jen thought that was a great idea. And then she goes, well, how about we do a race? And I'm like, okay, easily influenced. But with that being said, Jen is a person that it's like, well, I'm going to go all in. So she was like training much more than I was. So I was not expecting to be able to keep up with her. But again, it really was for me more mental than physical. The biggest thing that was bothering me was my foot. But Jen and I kept pace together the entire time. We ran the whole time. And we literally talked the whole time, which is weird. But she did more of the talking than I did. And that actually really helped me. It kept my mind busy.
I would be absolutely gassed if I was talking.
I know. I mean, we weren't like bah, 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 the whole time, but I mean, pretty consistently talking the whole time. My responses were like, yeah. Oh, because I'm like, I'm going to die if I talk.
I'm listening.
Yeah. But what was the worst or like the most challenging part for you? Like going into like what portion?
I would say miles.
FedEx guy just pulled in.
Oh, miles 3 and 4, probably.
Both of them were the hardest. Like just
yeah, because there was a hill at the end of mile 3, and we were going through a really wooded space that I had never been before. I was kind of confused as to how long it was, and so that was a little deceiving to me. I was like, "When is this thing?"
Because like every turn you were
end?
taking, you were like, "Oh my God, there's more."
Yeah.
What about that really pretty area with like those houses up to the side, like in the woods? That was like in the Arboretum.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before.
Well, they're right on the edge of the Arboretum.
Those were gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest,
really, really nice wooded lots.
literally what started the 10K, it was like energy's up, everyone's feeling good, and you all start. And I saw Casey and our friend Al just like take off, and I'm like, okay, you guys have fun with that. Like you guys picked up a quick pace like right away.
Yeah.
And Jen and
Maybe
I just like totally paced ourselves. But within the first like 3 minutes, it's a huge hill. Like
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's where literally within that people started walking.
I was literally like, shit. Like
why are we starting this way?
This is right away. Like if there are more of these things, I'm gonna be crawling.
I didn't find any that bad. There was a couple that was like
there weren't that bad after.
After that, I was like, thank goodness. But the second worst part for me was end of 3 going into 4, which was around. It sounds like the same.
I was around that water station.
I was just like
going up that gradual hill.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know where like. The middle was hard because it's like I still have to do half of this again, but like it's never ending. We're going up the hill. But after that, I surprisingly felt really good, and I'm happy I did it. But I can't say I'm like I can't wait for the next one. I don't think that I'll be signing up for any 10K in the near future, but maybe another one next year or something like that. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, since we're back here on the pro microphones in front of the camera. There was a thought I had today. And it's kind of related to a little bit to the content that you were posting this weekend on Instagram. And it's more or less like, well, you were talking about Bruno, one of our German Shepherds that we have right now for training, how like, you know, talking about his anxiety and stuff like that, like his, I just, you know, I want to go. I want to get out of my
anticipatory stuff.
Yeah, that's where I was looking for. Anticipation.
Anticipatory. Say that 10 times fast.
No, I'll make a fool out of myself. But anyways, it kind of had me thinking, and I think, you know, there were some people responding to it, and I don't know if I'm kind of relating this in the right way, but it's almost like a lot of people I feel like have a hard time with their dogs doing nothing. Or the act of doing nothing, like that's a job to do nothing. Or like to just be on place and do nothing or something like that. You're giving me a smile right now.
Well, I'm going to challenge you a little bit because a lot of trainers will also use that term of like the art of doing nothing. And I don't align with it. And I very much feel like they are doing a massive amount of work when they're laying around. So for me, could be further from the truth that they're doing nothing. But if that helps like an owner connect of like, hey, all they need to do is lay down and they're really doing nothing. But I like to give kind of the context of like, actually, it might help you, owner, to know how hard they're working versus it being like they're doing nothing. People don't like their dogs doing nothing.
Yes.
So I know what you're saying, but I have to say, like, I don't like to call it the art of doing nothing or ask your dog to do nothing, because especially for like Bruno, who you're talking about, that takes more effort for him than anything else that he'll have to do throughout the day.
Right.
So,
because that's what you spend a lot of time doing is
God.
like the patience of literally opening the kennel door and he wants to fling up right away. And that is so challenging for a dog like him to just actually not do that.
And a lot of dogs, especially like his breed, is going to be more like that. It's just reality. But a lot of the times then when I'm saying stuff like that to owners of like, you need to be patient, you need to let them make the mistake, but be there for feedback, is the questions an owner will then ask me proves to me that them and their dog are so similar in that way.
Yeah.
They are both anticipatory. They are both waiting for the next step. So it's never like,
typically that's how
I'm
it
just
is.
saying, like, a lot of the people that struggle with it are then telling me, okay, well then what do I do after that? And like, well, my dogs then, like, I release them and then they're, super hyper again. What do I do then? And it's like, I get that, because that is like the frustrating part, but it's one of those things where it's like, you don't move forward. And I know that that's hard. And I know that that's like, okay, well, I got to take my dog for a walk. Of course you do. But it might take a couple of weeks where it's like, okay, my dog just rushed out of the crate now when I said break. Okay, well, let's change that up. Maybe what we do instead is pick up that leash, make sure they're not impulsive, do a nice, calm, let's go, tap your leg. They go to spike and run out. Address their state of mind. And what I mean by that is give them a little shh and leash pop, or if you're e-collar training, shh, tap, send them back in. Try again. It's always like, okay, well, I wait till my dog is calm. And to me, I'm like, again, calm is subjective. Is that they're laying down, or is that their eyes are softening? Their breathing is, slowing down. They're not whining. And then what I would say is try to mix up what you're doing of like, don't do break or okay or free, like come to them with a calmer state. And I don't even know if you're asking me like how to handle this or what to do. But,
no, I wasn't.
But, yeah, I know. I
can tell where your mind was going here. Like,
but,
this has been something that you've been thinking about.
Well, it's what people struggle with too, is just like, not just struggling with that, but struggling with the concept of when someone puts content out, we cannot make it fit for every single person, every single dog.
That's more or less what I was
and I know that, but hoping whenever things like consistent questions of like, a lot of people obviously struggle with that. Yeah. So if we can add additional value of me talking through it on things like this, and I can say, hey, we actually talked about that on our podcast. I love to do that, because it's okay for people to literally watch our content and think it's about them and their dog, because that's what we want to create. We want to create stuff where it's like people do feel that. So I always like try to take a step back if we ever get a question or like, well, that wasn't really that helpful because then my dog does this. And it's like, okay, like we're trying to help as many people as we possibly can, but I understand that you're struggling. So there are things that we can do to help you out.
Yeah, I think there was like a comment on one of our platforms on something. We said like, what is the job that they're doing? Well, the job that they're doing is actually just remaining calm. And that's it. And that is, like you said, it's so challenging we were talking about a dog like Bruno. some dogs it's not as challenging for. They can kind of do that, but I think it's almost sometimes like some people just don't they don't see the type of dog that we have, or they don't feel that type of energy or something like that, or they don't have that type of dog in their home and they don't know what that feels like. So I know what you mean. Like, we try to tailor our content to various types of people. It may not relate to everybody. We try our best.
Yeah, and it's the thing about it is, like, we most often are also taking dogs that can be a little bit more challenging. And I'm not talking like from an aggression standpoint, but from a state of mind standpoint, because we talk so much about that. So we know that we're going to get more people needing more of that finesse work. And I love that stuff. But that's where it's like we all have to, come from a standpoint of knowing that, like, sometimes little progress is the best progress. And sometimes, it's not going to feel fun. Like, some of the training sessions, like, I spent probably the other day 35 minutes at least before I even took Bruno out of his crate to then do active work with him. And that's time consuming. And I know from an owner's perspective, like, I want to walk my dog before I go to work. And it's like, I can't do that. And I get it, but I also know that we can at least try to find a happy medium of, okay, maybe you have to get up 15 minutes earlier, and maybe it means that you're only walking a quarter of a mile away from your house and doing more 180 turns versus getting in that mile walk. Like, work with the dog you have. And if you put a lot of time into that in the beginning, you'll find that you can then, like, add distance, add duration, all of those kinds of things. But I mean, some dogs, and I'll be the first to say it, they're not easy. So you don't have to do everything perfectly, and you're not going to be able to necessarily wait them out potentially as much as I do. But sorry. Are you hello?
I was looking
Heart.
for this comment. So
well, I don't want to read specific comments.
No, I wasn't. I just want to make sure I had the right.
It was the heel video, but
rendition of it.
Okay.
All right. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
As you're playing videos on your phone.
I didn't know the sound was on.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that topic, but I once again took it down a path.
It's almost like a lot of times, like, people just don't read the comment or the caption on it too.
That's okay.
I know, it's like, what type of job? It's like, well, we actually just talked about it, but
it's okay.
Anyways,
my
this is where I'm at today.
Yeah, well, I also know where you come from sometimes with those things. And it's funny to me because I'm like, I have to literally put, like, hey, check out the caption. Is you come from a space of also feeling like slightly protective of me, of like, if you're reading it at all, of like people are being kind of sassy towards me, like, how much we put into it and like how much like my heart and soul I put into it. So like it frustrates you probably to see people be kind of like snippety with me.
Yeah, I just think we try to be like such chameleons with people. That's the only word that I can think of. Is you try to like tailor your work to, not only are you an expert in what you do, but you have a specific skill set, but you also can relay that into different types of dogs, and that's where we are chameleons in our content. And when people just don't take the time to actually read something or take more of it in and then just start firing off things, that's when I'm like, who does that? Like, if you're actually interested in something, why don't you actually look up what this is, or like get more details, and then if you have a question about it, write your question in or comment in or something like
I mean,
that.
I get both sides, to be completely honest, because I get shipped something to put together. I'm the last person to look at the instructions. So it's like, I'll get frustrated and be like, oh, this is not coming together as I wanted it. And then you'll say, well, did you look at the instructions? And I'm like, no. So that's where it's like the beautiful thing about what makes our world go round is we're all different. We're not all going to be dotting our I's and crossing our T's, but we're going to hopefully do the best that we possibly can. And I try to come from a place of understanding and compassion. If people are being dicks, no, I don't really have compassion for that. But being a little impulsive with responses, I can get that from time to time.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just have to tell myself that so I don't get frustrated.
I have a harder time with that because that is not me. I'm not that type of person that just fires off things like that. And I'm not just saying about a certain comment, but just in general, I tend to be the person who, if I don't understand something, I'll go try to figure it out myself. And then I'll ask questions once I have exhausted all my resources in order to try to find the solution.
I'm a reactive dog and Casey's a balanced dog. We just figured that out right now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a reactive dog in some ways, though, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're like a birdie that's like, squirrel, what? Huh. Hey. Okay, back to earth. Where I'm like, what was that? And then I can cycle down quicker.
Who was that?
Ro. Yeah. Rhodey's like, what the? And then he's like, okay, cool. We're all good. We're kosher. I'm going to go sit down.
Yeah, he can turn it on and turn it off so fast.
It's wild.
It's
wild.
Not even funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's wrap this one up today. What do you say?
Wow. We've dropped the ball, though.
We did?
Well, you probably love it because you were never prepared for this part of the segment anyways of our peeves and highlights. We have not been doing those.
No, we got to get to that.
Yep. So my peeve of the week is my blister and my feet, because no matter what shoes I buy, and that's the thing, is like I can spend a lot of money on shoes, and I haven't. There's only one pair of running shoes that was like more expensive than what I normally spend, but it doesn't matter if I buy $20 shoes off of Amazon or $200 shoes. My feet reject shoes. So that's my peeve of the week is my literally trying to look at it like 3/4 size blister.
All right. You want to hear my peeve?
Yep.
My peeve is when you buy things on whatever it is, Amazon or specific website, and it doesn't, like, for instance, I bought new windshield wipers for our cars and I bought the wrong one. And then I went to Costco because I bought it from Costco.com. I went to Costco today to go get some things and I forgot it here.
So your peeve is yourself.
Yeah.
What?
I'm pissed.
This has nothing to do with ordering. I was like, oh, did they send you the wrong one?
No, they sent me the right ones. It's like the whole act of like, I love being able to buy things from wherever you are on your phone or internet. Before you interrupt me, I can see you're going to interrupt me.
This is great.
It's just like, oh shit, like that doesn't fit or that is the wrong one or whatever. And then you have to either go bring it back to a UPS store or Amazon store or whatever it is, or you have to go bring it back. It just like creates...
I have to say, Casey, just because I know
do all of your returns too.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll be something. It's like I order it and I just didn't like it, or like it's just not a style I like,
or it's the wrong size or something.
You are the master of buying the wrong things. Like, especially when it comes to projects, you're like, I got the wrong size. I got the wrong this. I got the wrong that. I need to go run back to Home Depot. I need to go do this. So how do you buy the wrong size windshield wipers? Doesn't the manual tell you which ones to order?
Oh, yeah, it does.
So then why did you order the wrong ones?
It wasn't that it was like the wrong size or anything. It's the wrong... So like, for instance, the one I'm talking about is a rear windshield wiper. I've never actually replaced a rear windshield wiper because it doesn't get as much use.
Okay.
So mine has been on there for 5 years.
Okay.
But it's starting to like come apart and I was like, I need to get a new one. Okay. Looked online, size 14, go and order a size 14. It has some like special bracket. It's 14B.
Did you look at the owner's manual?
I knew it was 14B. I didn't know what the B meant. I've never done that before. So I just ordered a 14. So it's completely my fault.
So your peeve is you.
My peeve is me.
And I'm slightly calling you out because you didn't read the owner's manual, just like people don't read the captions.
No, I wasn't the owner's manual. I looked online. 14B.
Oh, so you just ordered 14.
I just ordered 14 instead of 14B.
Man, you better shape up because you don't want to be your own peeve 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, a lot of things that are my peeves are like things that I'm like, damn it, like I should have gotten something else or
I
something like
should
that.
have done something differently.
Yes.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going with that, but it's funny. I'm here for that.
So I guess it's more of like an inconvenience then, because then I have to bring it back because I'm not just going to throw the thing away.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'd hope you wouldn't just throw it away. Brand new windshield wiper that's probably like, what, $30?
No.
Oh,
They're like $11 from Costco.
no shipping?
Free shipping.
Oh, wow. Okay, my highlight of the week is I really like how I structured this week coming back from a vacation. It
Nice.
was such a good flow. Drop off timings, had some like personal appointments, got a massage. I just felt like going into this week, these new set of dogs, we have another drop off tomorrow. It was great versus like bombarding us the day we got back with all drop offs. I loved the transition from vacation to back to work for us this week.
Last week, you mean?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. No, it's been good.
What's your highlight?
My highlight is I'm really excited. I just been expanding my kind of video editing stuff.
Oh my gosh, you've done this one before. No, what's your highlight from this past week?
Yeah, that's my highlight.
So, something you worked on?
Yeah, I'm working on a project right now. And I'm excited about it.
Cool.
So, it's you cannot tell me what my
You've done this
peeves
one
and
before.
highlights are. You're not allowed to tell me. I could do the same one of both every single week, peeve and highlight.
Okay, so Casey's
There's no
peeve
police.
for the rest of the show will be himself and having fun is your highlight.
What?
Okay.
Finish your coffee here.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Bring us home, Case.
Yep. Well, you know what? This has been a fun episode. So we're gonna mosey on to whatever else we were doing before we recorded this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll catch you in the next one. If you haven't yet, go rate us 5 stars. If you don't, then you might as well just stop listening. Is that a bold move?
No.
All right. Well, it is what it is. If you want to contribute to our podcast, looking for contributors, check out our website page under the check out the podcast page on our website and send us some stuff. We want to talk to you.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week on Casually Canine.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
Bye.